uncrowded, unhurried, unpretentious. That pretty much sums up the San Luis Obispo wine country in a nutshell. Even the local crabs here seem, well, cheery and mellow. Kick back at one of the more than 100 tasting rooms, noshing on homemade linguiça, then grab a glass of one of the region's famous Rhone varietals like Grenache or Viognier, and sit out on the lawn listening to some mellow jazz. Or if that sounds a little too genteel for you, head down the highway to Paso Robles, a colorful little town with a quaint city park, where on weekends you might just come across a ranchera band, a dancing dog or two, some homemade pork tamales, and of course, the ubiquitous kettle corn vendor. No wonder Paso Robles was recently voted one of the foodiest small towns in America. From award-winning wines to locally made olive oils, along the Central Coast, it's all California grown. First stop, Hartford Pier along Avila Beach, home to sport fishing vessels, a couple of excellent seafood restaurants, and some very annoying sea lions, like these guys who swim in and out from under the pier, hoping against hope that maybe you'll want to share the catch of the day with them. You can fish from a kayak, from the end of the pier, or do what we do and just buy it.
See it moving? Those are the big oysters, right? The smaller one? That's one.
Here you can buy small shooter oysters for eating raw with nothing more than maybe a little squeeze of lemon, and large oysters perfect for the barbecue, as well as little neck clams and sweet juicy cockles, as well as red snapper, crab, and salmon fillets, whatever happens to be in season.
Well, we're all sharing, so it's just okay. So that's probably good. Is that going to be big enough? Yeah.
Back in Paso Robles, do a little wine tasting, or check out the culinary shops like We Olive, where you can taste more than a dozen local olive oils.
That's nice. So we have Chapel Hill, which is Paso Robles. We have Olive View, which is Chelam, where the James D. Memorial is. We have Olivas de Oro, Paso Robles. Robbins Family Farm, San Luis Obispo. Let's see. Adobe Springs, that is Shandon. Matani, Paso Robles. Olio Nuevo, Paso Robles. Robbins Family Farm, San Luis Obispo. Then we have Martisich, which is right here locally, Paso Robles. Homestead is actually in Templeton. And Terraceville, San Miguel.
Show me one of your favorites of the locals.
My favorite is probably the Robbins Family Farm. This is the Jesse's Harmony Blend. And this one is more light buttery, but it's very well balanced. Light fruitiness. It's just a very balanced oil.
Alright, you've been tasting wine, tasting olive oil. It's time to eat at a place like Thomas Hill Organics Bistro, owned by Joe and Debbie Thomas. Joe grows organic produce as well as nuts and fruits on their farm in the East Hills of Paso, while Debbie runs the cafe. Talk about farm to table.
Pork belly. A pork belly and a shrimp salad. Hi David, I'm Debbie Thomas, and I'm the owner of Thomas Hill Organics and Thomas Hill Farms. My husband and I moved up here from Pasadena about 5 years ago, and we started a farm. It's an organic farm on the east side of town. My husband is the farmer, and I run the restaurant. We've got about 900 fruit and nut trees planted, everything from apples and pears and plums and puats and figs and guava, pepper trees, almonds, etc. And we do all specialty greens. We do arugula, dandelion, spinach, red Russian kale, cavola nero. We also do all the row crops, especially tomatoes. My husband has an affinity for heirloom tomatoes. In fact, a lot of things that he does are heirloom. But we try to build our menu here at the restaurant around what we grow on the farm. The other thing is we always like to tie into our local wines. For instance, our Talbot Creek rosé. We have a beautiful salad right now that has strawberries on it, and it goes wonderfully. And Talbot Creek is organic, so they tie in with what we're doing.
Believe it or not, we've only scratched the surface of the food scene along the Central Coast. There are U-Pick fruit orchards to visit, the famous Thursday night farmers market in San Luis Obispo, and of course, more wineries to visit. Lots more wineries.
Those are tastings, and there are a couple of barrel tastings too.